parenting wins and parenting fails. And in that process, I have learned a lot, I have grown a lot. Reevaluated the situation. I reminded myself that she's just a toddler. What will she know? She's just playing. Why am I getting irritated? It's okay to yell and shout. So the kid will continue doing it. But even then, we don't know to handle certain emotions like guilt. Even when me and my husband has an argument or something, I always go tell my daughter, baby, conflicts are part of natural or healthy relationships. It's okay.
Today's kids' problem is basically a lot of people complain that digital media and social media is influencing these.
So personally, I feel parenting is that.
Hello, Galatta Ritz viewers. So today we have Swati Jagdish with us. Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
There are a lot of effective ways to become a parent. Today's millennial influence on parenting is huge, and also a lot of people before becoming a parent, before getting into the fatherhood or being a motherhood, so they research a lot. They come to know a lot of data. So what to articulate and what not to articulate is going to be the session of the. That's what we are going to talk. To start with, what does it takes to be a parent, and what is so special about being a parent?
So I'm a parent for the past 9 years, and it has been life-changing to say the least. In fact, that is the biggest reason why I started posting information on social media, just to share my parenting wins and parenting fails. And in that process, I have learned a lot, I have grown a lot. So personally, I feel parenting is that parenting is an experience that allows you to grow as a person. That's what I have felt, because I have grown a lot.
So before getting into the parenting stage, people experience something called a premature phase, like my baby should be this, my baby should be that. I want her or I want him to grow in such an atmosphere. I want her to see only the good things. I want her to see her or him to see, whatever I'm going through, whatever I'm not going through. As in, like, I want my kid to be extremely rich or extremely, fluent in something. So the prefixed mindset of being a parent. So how does this influence the kid?
So whatever you decide to do before being a parent is not going to work. Okay, so there is no set rules that you can follow, even if you have certain rules inside your head. For example, I thought I'm going to be a very strict parent, because I know my husband is a softer person. I have come from a background of having authoritarian parents. So in my household, things were very, very strict, yelling and shouting and all that as part of my childhood. So that's what I thought I will do. But after being a parent, after having my baby, when she was around 10 months old, I became part of some parenting based Facebook groups. It started off with a breastfeeding group, because I wanted information on breastfeeding, postpartum, and how to use cloth diapers, how to use baby carriers. So I was part of all these groups, and as part of that, I was also part of a group called Gentle Parenting India. It's still there on Facebook. So in that group, I realized that parents are raising children without hitting. And screaming and yelling is also as minimal as possible. So the group focused on a very gentle and respectful approach in raising a child. So I got really curious, and everyone was suggesting a certain book called How to Talk So Kids Will Listen and How to Listen So Kids Will Talk. Then I read the book. Then there was another book suggested called Kiss Me. That's also on parenting. So I read these couple of books, and I got a beautiful insight into what is gentle parenting all about. Raising a child by establishing firm boundaries and discipline, but by very gentle, respectful and kind means. Okay, so that is gentle parenting, and that changed my life. So then I started practicing it with her. Whenever I felt like yelling or shouting and all, I reevaluated the situation. I reminded myself that she's just a toddler. What will she know? She's just playing. Why am I getting irritated? If I'm getting irritated, I have to deal with it, right? Instead of showing that irritation on little child, me as an adult, I have to deal with it. So I kept reminding myself, Swati, you are the adult, you are the adult, you are the adult. So if you also cannot manage your emotions just like that toddler, then what is the difference between you and that 4-year-old? Right? 4-year-old cannot know how to handle emotions, because their brain is not developed so much. Then I also started attending parenting based workshops. That gave me even better clarity on what parenting is all about. And then I could connect with all those negative impacts. And then I also learnt about the growing child's brain. So how their prefrontal cortex is developing only after age 6, how their limbic system, their emotional brain is developing between 0 and 7. And that is exactly why we need to teach them emotional regulation. They won't be able to do it themselves. How a tantrum or a meltdown can be sorted and handled without screaming, without hitting, without yelling, etc. So I learned all these things. And then I started practicing it, applying it, and I started writing about it on my social media. And that's what went viral.
So today we see a lot of people learning about the parenting, but at some point everybody breaks down, right? So everybody has a frustration to at some random reasons. So everybody yell at their kids, and how does that yelling point or getting angry at the kid has an influence on the kid?
So basically, the kid understands it's okay to yell and shout. It's okay to yell and shout. So the kid will continue doing it. Let's say with their classmates or with somebody the kid feels superior than. Okay, so based on size or based on age or based on frame, if I feel superior, if me being the kid, I feel superior than some other kid who is my junior or a little weaker than me, or I will use the same strategy to deal with that person, because that's what my parent is doing. No, they're bigger than me and they're shouting at me means if I'm bigger than somebody, I can shout at them. But there are families that don't allow children to cry. That's another maybe topic to talk about. But anger, where will the child learn how to regulate anger? As parents, the adult itself realizes that, oh my goodness, nobody actually taught me how to handle anger. Because anger will come, just like other emotions. In a day, at least once or twice, it will come. For a parent that is more stressed, maybe more number of times. How are you going to handle it? What are you going to do? What are you going to show to the child? So, we have to learn how to manage our emotions. We have to regulate our emotions. Thereby, the child will also watch and learn how to regulate their emotions. So, in that, the most difficult is anger. That's why I just mentioned it. Because all the other emotions we were allowed to express. So, we somehow know how to handle. But even then, we don't know to handle certain emotions like guilt, regret, betrayal, grief. So, we have not been trained to deal with certain very difficult emotions. Anger is a topmost.
What is the influence on the kid when it comes to the when a kid has been dropped in a school? So when the kid goes into school and saying my parents are fighting every day, or it's like my parents are not talking to me, not spending time with me. So how to encounter such things from the kid's perspective?
Okay. See, first of all, the child doesn't know what family looks and feels like. They don't have a preconceived notion of this is how a healthy family looks like and mine is unhealthy. Even if parents are hitting also, they won't share with anybody because, oh, maybe all parents hit. Maybe this is what parenting is all about. Parents are hitting. Yeah. So, in most cases, they won't share. It'll come out as some other behavior in them. Maybe they will also start showing anger, like I told you, to weaker people. So let's say there's a child that is very weak and very vulnerable in the class, they'll go show their anger there, or they might bully that child because they are getting bullied at home. There is a beautiful a relationship between the father and the mother. Of course, they have conflicts, but then they're dealing with it in a very healthy manner. Then the child will learn all that also. Even if the child has a conflict with their friend, they won't get really panicky, because they know that conflicts are part of healthy relationships. Because at home, that's what they've been taught. Even when me and my husband has an argument or something, I always go tell my daughter, baby, conflicts are part of natural or healthy relationships. It's okay. It's okay to fight once in a while. It's all about what is happening in terms of repair and resolution. How is this conflict being mended? Who is repairing? Who's taking the initiative to repair? How is the other person responding? Are they going to repeat it again and again and again and again? Or are they going to learn something from the conflict and then do better the next time? This is what the child is watching.
Today's kids problem is basically a lot of people complain that digital media and social media is influencing these kids a lot. According to me, kids get to learn something new every day from the social media. So how do you see this debatable topic of social media influencing present day kids?
Like any other topic, it's also not a black and white topic. It's a very gray topic. And like any other topic out there, this also has both sides to it. Amazing websites have come up with great information that the child might not even get in school or even in college, right? So all that is there, so which is a good thing. On the other hand, too much of dependence on video games. Again, playing video games is not wrong. The parents should actually have strict or firm timings. Okay, so after school, this particular time you finish your school work, and then this time you can play your game, and then this time you need to come for dinner. So there should be a nice rhythm set at home, and they should stick to it. If such a thing is happening, then what is wrong in it? Don't we sit on phone half an hour, 1 hour, even more during the day and manage to get our work done? So teenager will learn to do it. They should learn to do it because phone is part of their life. For us, at least, it came after our, college got over at least, right? At least a smartphone. Yeah. So for us, it is an addition to life. For these children, it's part of life because they are seeing their parents sitting with us, no? So according to them, it's not a luxury. It's not even a necessity. It's part of life. It's like veetla fridge, washing machine la irukra madri. Phone irukku. That's all. Problem is when there is too much of a strict atmosphere where they are denied basic, comforts, basic rights. Let's say, நீ உட்காந்து படி அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு இவங்க ரூம்ல இவங்க டிவி ஓடிட்டு இருக்கு. ஸோ அதெல்லாம் ஒரு நியாயமான விஷயம் இல்லை இல்லையா? நம்ம ஏதோ ஒன்று சொன்னால் நம்மளும் தானே ஃபாலோ பண்ணணும். தோஸ் கைண்ட் ஆஃப் திங்ஸ் பண்ணாமல், if you can be disciplined as a person, if you can be first consistent as a person, then the child or teenager will easily manage. I always use this example in my class. நீங்க பாட்டுக்கு சாப்பிடும்போது ஃபோனையும் வச்சுட்டு சாப்பிட்ற டைம்ல ஃபோனில் மெசேஜ் பார்த்துட்டு உட்காந்துருந்தீங்கன்னா நாளைக்கு உங்க 15-year-old வந்துட்டு சாப்பிட்ற கடையில் ஃபோன் எடுத்து வச்சாச்சுன்னு ஒரு வார்த்தை கூட பேச முடியாது அப்படின்னு சொல்லிடுவேன்.
True, very true.
So parent has to first discipline themselves. Us being consistent, us being disciplined, us having a rhythm in the house. இப்போ நானே வந்துட்டு ஒரு 1/2 மணி நேரம் டிவி பார்த்துட்டு வரேன் தங்கம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு நான் 1 மணி நேரமாக பார்த்துட்டே இருக்கேன்னு வைங்க, சைல்டு வாட்ச் பண்ணிட்டு தான் இருக்காங்க. எப்போவுமே உங்களை சுற்றி நீங்கள் என்ன பண்ணுறீங்க, வாட் ஆர் யூ டூயிங், ஹவ் யூ வாக்கிங், ஹவ் யூ பிஹேவிங், ஹவ் யூ டாக்கிங் ஆன் ஃபோன், ஹவ் யூ ட்ரீட்டிங் த எல்டர்ஸ் அட் ஹோம், ஹவ் யூ ட்ரீட்டிங் அதர் சில்ட்ரன். என்னை மட்டும் திட்டி சண்டை போட்டு என்கிட்ட இருந்துட்டு என் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் வரும்போது அவங்ககிட்ட நல்லா இருக்கேன். எவ்ரிதிங் தே ஆர் வாட்சிங். ஸோ இஃப் த பேரண்ட் கேன் ஆக்சுவலி லுக் அட் தெம்செல்வ்ஸ், okay, and correct themselves, that is good parenting.
How fast do kids learn from parents or elders, ma'am? Because ஒரு ஃபஸ்ட் ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் செகண்ட் ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் போகிற குழந்தை இருக்காங்கன்னா, how fast do they interpret their skills or interpret their whatever actions they do, like repeated actions-ஆக இருக்கட்டும், இல்லை ஏதாவது ஒரு குவாக்காக இருக்கட்டும், how fast do kids interpret things from parents?
I have seen it happening as young as 2-3 years itself. Yeah. It's just because their whole entire world during the time is based on imitation. So, அம்மாவோட ஹீல்ஸ் போட்டு நடந்து பார்க்கறது, அப்பாவோட வாலெட் எடுத்துன்னு ஆஃபீஸ் போகிறேன்னு சொல்கிறது, லேப்டாப் எடுத்துகிட்டு உட்காந்துருக்கிறது. So, it's based on imitation. Their world is based on imitation. So, very, very young it all starts.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for answering all my questions.
Thank you. First of all, the point that I told previously, which is have a set timing when the child can watch. Allowing the child to cry it out and bring out those emotions is the solution. நான் என்ன பண்ணாலும், நான் எப்படி ரியாக்ட் பண்ணாலும், என்ன எமோஷன் வெளியே கொண்டு வந்தாலும் இவங்க போக மாட்டாங்க, இவங்க எனக்காக இருப்பாங்க அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு நம்பிக்கை ஏற்படுறது தான் எஸ்டாப்ளிஷிங் செக்யூர் ரிலேஷன்ஷிப்ஸ்.
பட் ஆனால் சில விஷயம் அம்மாட்ட சொல்லணுமா, should I even go and talk to my mom, should I even go tell this to my dad, அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு கொஸ்டின் இருக்கும்ல.
That is what is trained in gentle parenting classes. That is what is mentioned in parenting books, how to do it.